Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Baahubali: The Conclusion. Released in 2017 and directed by S.S. Rajamouli, this film is not just a follow-up, but a masterclass in mythic storytelling. Where the beginning introduced us to kingdoms, heroes, and legacies, the conclusion tears all of that apart, only to rebuild it in a triumph of justice, love, and identity. Quick heads up before I fully dive into everything, this review will contain spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Alright, you've been warned, so let's talk about my second favorite Indian film of all time. This might be a hot take, but I like the beginning just a smidge better than the conclusion. Like I said in the last review, this entire saga can be divided into parts. Part 1 is Shivu's introduction and is the first half of the first film. Part 2 is Amarendra, Baahubali's introduction, and is the second half of the first film, hence the title The Beginning. Part 3 is the conclusion of Baahubali's story and is about 3/4 of this film. Part 4 is the conclusion of Shivu's story and is the final quarter of this film. Since this film continues with the life of Baahubali, let's break that down even further. In the introduction to this film, we're reintroduced and reminded of the importance of culture, tradition, and the rules in the Mahishmati kingdom with the Immolation Festival. Queen Sivagami must walk barefoot with coals on her head so that she can light a pyre that will help burn a statue of the warrior deity Iravan. This will supposedly bring the kingdom good luck for the next 26 years. Things don't go according to plan as a war elephant panics and attacks the people, but this sets up a grandiose entrance for our hero Amendra Baahubali. This scene is very symbolic and powerful, especially because of the imagery with Ganesha. Everything in the scene points to Baahubali being divinely chosen to lead. This is the main theme in the first act of this movie. Prior to being coronated, he's tasked with visiting all the kingdoms to learn about them and see what problems the people are facing. This is a beautiful act because it helps us see his popularity with the people and his commitment to justice. It reinforces that Baahubali is the ideal king, loved by his people, wise beyond pride, and unwaveringly righteous. His coronation journey is what leads him to meet the beautiful princess Devasena of the Kuntala kingdom. The second act of this movie is solely about his love for Devasena and the start of his downfall. He first sees her during the middle of a bandit attack and he falls in love with her because she is not a damsel in distress. She immediately draws her sword and fights alongside her guards. This is something that Bahu admires because it's something that he does. They're not like modern war generals and leaders who send others to do their fighting. And so, right off the bat, they have chemistry together. After the fight, Bahu and Katapa pretend to be idiots and commoners and join the Kuntala court. This disguise game is really all about showing romance through comedy. Katapa pretends to be a doddering old fool, while Bahu pretends to be bumbling and awkward. It's super cheesy and I really loved it. It's a fun and flirtatious segment, but it's not pointless. It serves to build trust and let Devasena see who Baahubali is without the weight of his name. Their romance is built on mutual admiration, and this is solidified when the Pindari army attacks Kuntala. The battle for the kingdom is equal parts romance, comedy, and action. Bahu reveals that he is not a fool like Kumar Varma, the princess's brother-in-law. Instead, Baahubali is faster than logic. He moves at Goku level speeds and teaches Devasena how to shoot multiple arrows at once. I love this battle scene because it's like the Matrix meeting Bollywood. I said it in my first review and I'll say it here again. This movie is not meant to look realistic, instead it's meant to feel legendary, and it does. By the time the battle is over, the film hasn't just told us, but it's shown us that Bahu and Devasena are equals in war and heart. I love this romantic theme because it severely contrasts with the Mahishmati tradition of arranged marriage. This is what kicks off the true conflict in the film. For context, Sivagami is Queen Regent of Mahishmati and the final authority on justice. In the first film, she is an amazing queen because she chooses to break tradition and choose a king who is worthy, not one born of her own blood. It's a radical choice, but it shows that she values virtue over lineage. Unfortunately, in the conclusion, she lets tradition blind her. Bala hears of how Baahubali is in love with Devasena and tricks Queen Sivagami into promising Devasena to him. She effectively tries to buy Devasena with gifts, but this offends her and she sends her sword back to the Queen Mother. Sivagami feels publicly dishonored, and this is where she turns the marriage into a matter of ego rather than love. This is unfortunate because when honor is placed above understanding, then even love can become a casualty. The queen demands that Bahu brings back Devasena as a prisoner. Bahu pledges his love and loyalty to Devasena, and together they travel to Mahishmati. We get a beautiful sequence in the sky with a dreamlike swan-shaped boat. Everything is celestial with white robes, golden sunlight, and flying horses made from clouds. It's obviously not literal, but rather a representation of how love feels. Love is pure, ethereal, and divine. So this scene is mythic Bollywood romance at its best. It is unapologetically cheesy and gloriously symbolic. Back in Mahishmati, the queen reveals that she chose Devasena for her son Bala and not Bahu. This infuriates Devasena, and I admire her character so much because she refuses to be a pawn. She is proud, sharp-tongued, and fiercely principled. She radiates queen energy unlike Sivagami, and she refuses to be shamed by the court. This prompts Bahu to defend her. Sivagami sees Bahu's defense as insubordination and chooses Bala to become king over him. This hurts to see because Bahu is still loyal, kind, and respectful. Yet, the queen chooses her pride over justice, and their relationship completely fractures. The next act of this movie hammers home how jealousy, tradition, and blind loyalty destroy the kingdom. Bala plays all his cards sneakily and removes all the power and rank that Baahubali has. He does this right in front of Sivagami's eyes, and she doesn't act because she believes the throne must never be questioned, even by the one who deserves it the most. Even when Bahu defends his wife by executing Sethupathi for groping women, including his wife, Sivagami refuses to change tradition. She no longer values virtue over tradition and exiles her son and his pregnant wife. The crazy thing is that despite all these setbacks, the people don't love or respect Baahubali and Devasena any less. Instead, they actually grow to love them more and are excited that their gods now live amongst them and make their lives easier with their engineering and breaking of bread. This is the thing that really irks Bala, and it's what pushes him to be evil. Even though he cheated his way to the top, the people don't love or respect him. Even when he was crowned, the people didn't cheer for him because they didn't believe in him. Instead, the people cheered for Bahu, and even the soldiers took blood oaths to him. As Sivagami unleashes her pride and allows Bahu to be removed from the kingdom, she destroys the kingdom she built on virtue and replaces it with silence and fear. Queen Sivagami and her relationship with Bala are infuriating because she continues to blindly trust him, and he continues to lurk in the shadows and plot behind her back. He sets up a murder conspiracy with his father, ultimately resulting in Sivagami ordering Katapa to kill Bahu. Believing that Bahu is plotting to overthrow the throne, she orders the man who raised him to stab him in the back. She abuses her power and makes a decision that is rooted in fear, pride, and tradition. Her decision doesn't just kill Bahu, but it breaks Katapa and destroys the kingdom's soul. This wise queen chose the wrong heir and didn't even realize she was being fed poison. Even by the time she finally realizes she's being manipulated, it's too late. Bala seizes power and shoots an arrow into her back. She dies with blood on her hands. Not just Bahu, but the blood of her ideals. Queen Sivagami's downfall shows us that tradition is a throne, but without love, justice, and humility, it becomes a prison. The final act of this film is all about how Mahendra unites the people and the resistance. He doesn't seek revenge for ego, but rather for justice for his mother, the people, and the kingdom that was stolen. Legacy isn't inherited, it's reclaimed through action. Mahendra's army isn't composed of warriors. It's composed of farmers, elders, and mothers. It's a nation bonded by a shared pain and a common sense of freedom. That is absolutely timeless. While this fight might not be as epic as the final battle in the beginning, there is still a lot to love with this one. I love the broken physics and the CGI and scaling of the walls. I love how Katapa fights alongside Mahendra, now freed from guilt. I love the final showdown between Mahendra and Bala, and how Bala is finally brought to his knees, not just by Mahendra's blade, but by Devasena's hand. I love that she lights him on fire. It's a righteous, poetic, and biblical justice cleansing of flames. I love that the victory against Bala is a restoration and rebirth for the kingdom. The 5.5 hours that compose both films are brought to a beautiful conclusion that gives you hope for justice and makes you want to be a more virtuous person. I know I already said it, but I am completely enamored with how this film built upon and expanded the characters and themes of the first film. Every character has an amazing arc, whether it's Bahubali's martyrdom, Devasena's fiery justice, Sivagami's downfall, or even Katapa's heartbreak. Every single character has depth. Even characters that are largely used for comedic relief, like Katapa and Kumar Varma, both have deep arcs. For example, with Kumar, at first he's pompous and cowardly. He hides with women and lies about his strength, but Bahu gives him the chance to be brave. He tries and fails, but then he finds real courage and fights to defend himself and the women around him. He is the perfect exemplification that true strength doesn't come from your title, but from your actions. This film is full of mini arcs like that and makes each character meaningful. Like in the first film, there's not a single actor who's miscast or misused. Prabhas delivers an amazing performance as a philosopher king. Anushka Sethi delivers a radiant performance as a queen who never backs down. Ramya Krishnan is a powerhouse matriarch. Satyaraj is an excellent teary-eyed protector. Rana Dagubati oozes tyrannical insanity. I'm not kidding, the casting is perfect. There are too many cast members for me to name, but just know they were all chef's kiss. Lastly, the music is again composed by M.M. Kiravani, and it is an emotional powerhouse. It is grand, poetic, and mythic. The score and songs are rich with character themes, emotional cues, and cultural depth, and are tailored to match the sweeping visual spectacle and larger-than-life drama. Whether it was Hamsanava, the Swan Boat love song, or Kanani Durinchara, Devasena's lullaby, or even Sahor Bahubali, the warrior king anthem, everything about the score soars. It's a timeless soundscape that feels ancient, earned, and epic. This movie has zero complaints from me. Baahubali the Conclusion is not just the end of a saga, it's the crowning jewel of a cinematic legend. It delivers payoff after payoff with emotional depth, mythic grandeur, and timeless storytelling. Every character arc finds meaning, every theme hits hard, and every scene feels handcrafted to inspire awe, reflection, or righteous fury. While I personally prefer the beginning just a little more for its sense of discovery and world building, the conclusion is undeniably a more powerful film. It's the one that makes you feel the loss, the betrayal, the hope, and the triumph in your bones. This is epic storytelling done right. No moment is wasted, no character is sidelined, and no theme is left unexplored. I walked away from this movie reflecting on the things I value, like justice and love over pride. Baahubali the Conclusion is a masterwork of Indian filmmaking that earns every bit of its emotional weight and leaves behind a legacy as enduring as the characters it celebrates. Please, please, please go watch this saga. I promise you will not be disappointed. Thank you for listening to my review of Baahubali the Conclusion. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.